elf under Lord Staleor. And just so you guys know, Sea Elves was basically the moniker that they gave to any elf that was a predominant sailor, more or less. It wasn't an actual race of individualistic or different elves. It was just, oh, you're what elf? You go on the sea lands, you're a sea elf. That's just kind of the thing. Under Staleor, they fought deep into the heart of the Southland. There's a really cool nod there as Orion lies smack dab on a part of the thicker branch of roots that extends into the Southlands from the World Tree. And taking a look at the portion that extends into the Darklands, you can see it terminates in 2 points. You can also see the River Ruins Delta exiting into the Sea of Dread, so we know that this puts the Wood Elves in the Haunted Forest alongside a possible Beastman presence. And just north of where their High and Dark Elf kins might reside. And as we continue to flesh out this map, we're going to see how much of a hotbed this southern portion of the map is going to be, and how it will be spread out a little more to make more sense without just being a giant clusterfuck. I'm hoping it's not just, hey, we're gonna put all these races one settlement or one region away from each other, and let's just see how the dice roll. Like, I hope it's actually kind of nicely spread out. So we might see another Heart of the Forest type settlement like in Orion, or we might be just faced with a Wood Elf rogue. CA really likes to populate the map with as much familiarity as they can, so I can see this being a settlement over a rogue army, if you ask me. Now that we've gotten Game 1 races out of the way, though, we can kick this bad boy into overdrive with the races, well, come on, who am I kidding? The one race that I actually care about and actually am excited for, the High Elves. So when the High Elves really rose to prominence after the Great Catastrophe, they spread around the globe. And we talk about the ancient elf empire, how it was in the old world, the Badlands, the Southlands, portions of Nagaroth, really just everywhere, even as far as in the Cathay. I mean, they have a lot of stuff over in that region. So the same holds true for our map here in the Darklands. Now in Game 2, we've seen a sample of that, you know, in the Citadels of Dawn and Dusk, and the tips of Lustria and Southland. But to the east of the Southlands, we also have Tor Lesor, the Tower of the Sun, and the Tower of Stars. You know, we see those in the map as well. And the High Elves really just went all willy-nilly, traversing the entire globe with their pointy helmets and snarky attitudes. So how does this play into our Darklands map? Well, the city of Spires is on the northwesternmost edge of the Inn, just to the east of the Dragon Isles across the Leaden Sea. The city of Spires is still standing as of the condition, so it gives her a very great location for the High Elves to get some playtime on the Darklands map. And depending on how southern they go, they might include Tor Lesor has some significance with the Dark Elves. And the High Elf Navy patrols the region of sea between the 2 points quite frequently. So you kind of have this very seafaring empire, and you know how they always talk about the British Empire, how at its height the sun rose and set in the British Empire. The High Elf Empire, at its height, had settlements or these major cities or these major fortresses spread throughout the world, especially in the Old World. I mean, the Sea Elves were in places that are now Altdorf and Marienburg. Those at one point were Grand Elf cities. So the Elves are kind of all over the place. But other than that, some time ago there was a White Dwarf, the first issue that reintroduced the Chaos Dwarves, actually, in which both the Chaos Dwarves and the High Elves fought at the Tomb of Anarel. Now, Anarel is an ancient mariner, and one of the most important sea elves of Elven lore. The Citadel of Dusk in the Southlands, it resides on the Anarel Peninsula, just to give you an idea of how far it's in the sky. So there's a chance that we could see some elves around there as a rogue army, and a nice kind of nod to this. This would be just south of the Planet Bones, where the Sea of Dread becomes the bigger sea. So this would actually be on Darklands proper, on the opposite end of the little delta there. So to recap, we have the City of Pillars, depending on how much of Inn we get visible on the map, and then Tor Lesor on the map for the High Elves. Now, as south they want to go, they might just say, no, Tor Lesor is just too far south. It's already in Game 2 story. But this bad boy is really starting to flesh out. This map is starting to thing, guys. And it makes me excited for when the actual map reveal will come. You know, during that video, we'll put both maps side by side and let's see how accurate or completely we're we nailed it right off the gate. Oh yeah, shit, City of Pillars is there, and so is Twirlethor. But it's gonna be fun when we can kind of compare and contrast our notes. But since we've done the Wood Elves and the High Elves, it's only right we take care of their darker kin. The Dark Elves are a bit scarce on the map here, so it'll be interesting how they are included, and this will unfortunately be a tragically short entry, as I really have grown to the Dark Elves. But now that I can play, I really enjoyed them. In tabletop, I was always told to play High Elves go for Dark Elves, and I always ended up going High Elves. But now, having the chance to play the Dark Elves, I'm like, damn, should play Dark Elves, damn. But whatever. We all know the Dark Elves are renowned for their ability to raid and voyage off to far-off lands, meet indigenous people, and enslave indigenous people. And there's a lot of this. That's a lot of the same thing going on here. The Dark Elves don't have some cool citadel that I would have expected in a place called the Darklands. Nay, the closest thing the Dark Elves get to a foothold on this map is the Tower of Blessed Dread. This is, of course, the mighty Black Ark, led and captained by Lokir Fellheart. It's not an actual power. It was Black Ark itself. And it was his father, then Wraith Fellheart, before he was killed by an assassin, and has stayed with the Fellheart name ever since. So he inherited Daddy's Now, the lore describes Dark Elves spending a lot of time in Ind. Many renowned Dark Elves earned some of their initial infamy while raiding up and down the coasts of that country. In addition, they harried the many ports that dot the islands around the Darklands. Notably, Lokir Fellheart, who we just talked about, destroys Toralessar at one point in the latter portion of the lore. But you can even look at Koron Darkhand, the master of the Black Guard. He essentially cuts his teeth raiding up and down the Indian coast. But unfortunately, we don't have a set location for our Dark Elves, but I think that putting them here, kind of west of the Dragon Isles, makes sense. This is a good striking